Hey guys, Sam here from ECOMMERCE.com. In this video, you're going to learn the 8 steps to building your e-commerce empire. This video is going to be super helpful if you're at the beginning of your e-commerce journey and you want to know what are these big successful stores doing that you're not. Now, who am I? My name is Sam. I run an e-commerce marketing agency called ECOMMERCE, and I've helped several e-commerce stores get up to the $1 million or more revenue range per year, profitably as well. And I'm in their Shopify dashboards, WooCommerce dashboards. I'm building their ad accounts in Google Ads and scaling up those ad accounts. And so I'm seeing what's actually working. So what's the common thread between these stores? What do they do that these other stores that aren't successful, what do they do that makes such a difference? And so I'm going to go through this now. It's going to be a very valuable video for you guys showing exactly what I've seen to work so well. And I want you, as you go through this video, to take note and think about your own store or the store that you're going to build. How are you going to do the best you can in each of these stages and steps, almost systems or parts of your e-commerce store to make it as successful as possible? So without further ado, let's jump into it. So there's 8 systems overall. Take notes, watch this, go through it slowly. I talk about these systems more or less in a lot of my videos. I often focus a video on a different part like traffic or what have you, but let's go through them all. So this gives you a really good overview of your entire store. So the first one is, and I talk about this a lot, need and customers. And the reason I talk about this a lot is because a lot of people skip this and try to go straight to traffic and products. With your need and customers, you need to really think about who you're selling to, what are their problems, what are their needs, and how does your product actually solve their problem? So this means going through and building out some sort of buyer persona or some sort of plan where you think about who is in your niche. Who are these people? What do they want? How do they use the internet? How do they interact with e-commerce stores? What do they look for in whatever products they buy in this niche? And I'm not even thinking about what products I'm selling yet. I'm just trying to figure out who they are, what are their problems, and how can we help them in the best way we can. And once you do this, and you're going to then, this leads you to start trying to answer these questions with a product. It's very backwards to the way a lot of people do their e-commerce store. And this is like, I see all these successful stores, they didn't try and find a product first, a winning product, and then try and sell it to people. They thought, I'm trying to help whiskey lovers. What do whiskey lovers want? How can I help them in the best way possible? Do they want some sort of monthly tasting? They want to try new whiskeys. They want to explore, and they want an expert to describe this for them. Oh, let me create a subscription box where I have 3 whiskeys a month, 3 whiskeys a month, and I send them out to all my subscribers, and they get to test whiskeys, and they can also buy the full bottle on my store. See, I thought about who are these people? What do they want? I've done a lot of research and talked to these people, even started a store, but then listened to the support requests and all that sort of stuff. And then I found the product to solve that problem. And when you find your product, it's so important that your product is high quality and you're not just thinking about the product itself, but the whole experience. So you need to change your mindset. This is what these companies do, these e-commerce stores. They stop thinking about selling products and they start thinking about selling an experience. They think about how can they optimize every single stage of that buying process, from going to the store through the traffic, looking at the website, talking through live chat, buying the products, so the cart, the product pages, checkout pages, and then what are the emails they get once they purchase the product, right when they purchase it, leading up to purchasing it, leading up to receiving it, and then actually after they receive it. And when they receive it, what does the delivery look like? Is it in Amazon packaging because you're using Amazon FBA to ship out your products for your Shopify store? Or is it have custom packaging that's really nice? It's a really nice unboxing experience. It has a thank you note there, like handwritten. What is the actual experience? And the best stores, they just put everything into every single one of these systems, but especially the product, because the product really, in a nutshell, is the actual value that they're paying for. And people buy things online because they perceive that the price they pay is lower than the actual value they expect to receive. If you can over deliver in terms of value, and this is with selling anything, anywhere, then those people are going to talk, and you're going to get so many referrals, because I'm going to go into traffic as well in this video. But a big thing about these stores is that when you look at their analytics and how people find them, the Google and Facebook campaigns, they do a lot to convert cold traffic, especially with Google, with high intent going to their website. But those people go away and they tell all their friends about this product. And that's when the store just scales, because suddenly you're paying, say, $20 to acquire a customer on these platforms, but that customer has a lifetime value. And I've got a video on customer lifetime value. The lifetime value is hundreds of dollars, because that person then goes and tells people for years to come. So they'll see in their analytics that the direct traffic, people just searching or just putting the brand website in the URL, or they're going to Google and searching for the brand, just goes up and up and up. And this is just demonstrating that that company has just added so much value. So moving on to the next system, the website. And I talk about this a lot in my Product Page Mastery free course. It's totally free. It's on my website. I'll put a link in the description as well. And I show you how to go through these three steps, these need and customers, product, and website. These are the first big steps that successful stores have gone through successfully and scaled. And I teach you how to do this in that free course, totally free, no catch. There's no sales. It's all there free. And it's on my website. Just go sign up and you get access via an email. But I take you through how to talk to your customers, figure out what they want, how to frame your product. So this is a huge thing. So you have your product, you understand your niche. Your website isn't just a basic Shopify theme. You don't want just to throw something up with some pictures. You want to really think about who you're selling to and how to craft every single pixel and inch of that page, the whole website, the about page, shipping and returns page, the home page, collections page, product pages for every individual product. How can you craft that to speak directly to those customers to show that your product matches their need, solves their problem? That's when you can maximize the website. And I love working with these stores that do this, because running ads and traffic is a dream, because we'll start fresh campaigns, fresh shopping, fresh branded search, product searches, remarketing campaigns, and we'll out of the gate, we'll get a return on ad spend of 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll just kill it, because they realize that the goal of traffic isn't to try and convince people to buy. You're just finding the people that are in this niche, they have the need, and you're just getting your product in front of them. Trust me, guys, it is so much easier to convert customers when you're not trying to convince them, hey, my product is, when you're not trying to convince them that your product is the best thing ever, but they already know they need your product, and you're just guiding them because they match your buyer persona. Your website speaks directly to those people, and they go through your whole funnel and they convert. And trust me, these stores, like the return on ad spend, maybe you've seen some of my videos. I use some of them as examples when they've given me permission, and their ROAS can be like 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 10, 11 sometimes for the entire account. And this is big, very profitable accounts with a decent profit margin. And you can't. It's if you're not doing this, it's so hard to compete with these stores, guys. I'll tell you that, because if you're just using Alibaba Express to find your products, you're putting them on Facebook, running Facebook ads, you're really swimming upstream. It's an uphill battle, because someone like me or one of these entrepreneurs can come in, see with spy tools that you're running these Facebook ads and know where your product is from, and then they can just get a better product, if that means designing it or importing it, and then just build a huge brand by doing all these things and just wipe you out of the market. You've got no hope. There's just no hope. If you want to build a store that's big, successful, and lasts for years and years and keeps generating profit for your bank account, you want to pay attention and maximize all these things. Stop thinking about what's the minimum you can do, and think about what's the maximum, the optimal thing that you can do for your customers to just dominate. So you build a moat around your store, and no one can come in and knock you off that spot. And I've worked with several stores that started from scratch, and they had this approach because it wasn't their first store. And we came into a market that already had some big stores, and within 3 to 6 months, we had all the traffic because we could pay less. We could pay more to acquire customers because it was so much more profitable, because we knew the customer lifetime value. So we could come into these platforms and just dominate. It was just kind of, I felt bad for these other stores just because we came in and just destroyed, because they didn't have these systems in place. The next one is traffic. So I've talked about this a little bit already, but traffic is just one piece of the systems. A lot of people, there's all these courses about traffic, but people just get obsessed by it and don't understand that once you have the other systems in place, traffic is pretty easy overall. Yes, you do have to understand the platform. I recommend taking some courses and learning how it works. But once you have the other things in place, you're not fighting, you're not getting a ROAS of 1 or 2. You're not fighting upstream anymore, but your store will just dominate all the other players in the platform, because when you're dealing with paid traffic like Google ads and Facebook ads, you're dealing in a marketplace of traffic where you're trying to buy attention, and the more players there are and the more competitive they are, the harder it is. Especially if your maximum cost per acquisition, your break-even ROAS is really high. If you need to get $10 from every $1 you spend, you're not going to be able to compete at all. And it's funny, the conversations I'll have with people that have a really low profit margin, and they come to Google Ads and they say, "Oh yeah, Sam, we need to get a ROAS of 10 to break even." And I just look at them and just go, "Wow, like this isn't it. Like, you're not going to be able to do this with it. Like, it doesn't matter how good your ads are. 10 is very, very hard to do, and it's often if you've already built up a lot of custom audiences, you've built up a lot of conversion data, but you've also got a strong brand with thousands of 5-star reviews and user-generated content. That's like the next level. But traffic, guys, a tip here is don't just think about traffic as just paid ads. Traffic is any sort of attention and eyeballs on your brand and your products. You can use organic, so you're creating blogs, content, even a YouTube channel. You can do a lot of organic reach, and that's great for building a lot of trust and building a brand and an audience. You can do paid traffic, of course, but there are many ways to get paid traffic. Google ads, and especially Facebook ads, everyone's just obsessed with that because there's all these gurus teaching Facebook ads courses and drop shipping and stuff. There's a lot of forms of paid traffic: Pinterest ads, Reddit ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, maybe even on Twitter. I've heard Twitter. I haven't actually explored that. LinkedIn. Oh, I don't know how that's going to go for e-commerce. I haven't tried that before. But there's many ways to pay for traffic. But there's also organic traffic that isn't just SEO or YouTube and getting traffic over from YouTube. There's also chat rooms, forums. There's also affiliate marketing, which is like influencer marketing, or paying big people in your niche that have a website, an authority website, or key players in a forum to then advertise your products. There's so many ways to do traffic, but what really matters is having all the other systems dialed in, especially these first three. I talk about traffic a little bit in that free course I talked about. There's a page on that at the end that just gives you some great ideas for alternative sources of traffic that you may not have considered. I do recommend checking that out, especially because I go through those first three big systems, but that traffic bit gives you a couple of ideas as well, so I recommend checking that out. The next one here, guys, and this is what people get really caught up on: fulfillment. Fulfillment really is how are you going to get those products to your customers. That's pretty much all it is. So you're drop shipping. People make their whole business a drop shipping business. It honestly, like, I've worked with non-drop shipping, like 3PL. I worked with the Amazon FBA. I've worked with drop shipping stores. I haven't done much work with print on demand. I do know someone that's doing really well with that. But you can also ship the products to your garage and do it that way. There are many ways to fulfill your products, guys. Don't get caught up in what is the best way. I do have a video on different fulfillment models. I'll put a link in the description on that one. But really here, think about how can you provide the best buying experience to your customers, and I would go from there. If you're outside of the country you're selling to, dropshipping can work great, but dropshipping stores that I've worked with that fit the successful model, as in multi-million-dollar stores, they're not just dropshipping from Alibaba. They're also not just dropshipping by itself. They're talking with those suppliers and white labeling the products and the boxing experience, so that the supplier still sends the product to the customer. It's still drop shipping, but the product that the person gets is so good and such high value that it's not the type of drop shipping most people understand. And when they do that, when they create that relationship with the supplier, they're also signing agreements that give them distribution rights so allow that store, whatever store it is, to be the only ones that are allowed to sell in that region with that supplier. So it stops someone else just calling up the supplier. And I made a video on cold calling suppliers. It's really easy to do. You can cold call 20 or 30 and just struck up some deals really easily. It's so easy for someone to just call your supplier and just say, hey, yeah, I'd love to stock your products as well, because that supplier has nothing to lose. Like, they've got everything to gain, which is more sales. So the more you can protect that, the better. The majority of the successful stores I work with, they're doing 3PL Some of them Amazon FBA, but most of them are moving away from that because they don't like the Amazon packaging, but doing 3PL, all they're shipping out the products themselves from their own warehouse. And often sometimes they start with drop shipping and they'll move into 3PL or their own warehouse. They use drop shipping to just test the market. But they understand that if they want to succeed and plant themselves as a successful store in that niche, in that market, they need to enhance that buying experience as much as possible, which means making sure that unboxing experience is great. They don't want to have problems. They want to be able to get return orders and fix up returns if possible. And also, drop shipping can also lead to much longer lead times, fulfillment times, getting it to the customer. There's a lot that can go wrong. So they want to make sure that only you're going to have errors with whatever fulfillment model you use. You're going to have errors with whatever fulfillment model you use, like I said again. But the more that you can minimize the chance of those errors, the better it's going to be, because the less negative reviews, the more people are going to refer you, and this has an exponential effect on your growth. Anyway, guys, that's all I'll say for that. There's a lot to go into here, but I just recommend not getting caught up on traffic or fulfillment. It's just small pieces of the puzzle. What you should be focused on is how can you add as much value to your customers. The next thing here, which is so important, is support and contact. This is how do these customers interact with your business in terms of communication. They go to your website. If they want to talk to you, can they call? Do they use live chat? When they go on live chat, who's responding to them? Is it you? Do you have a virtual assistant that's in the Philippines? That can work, but make sure that you really, really be careful with how you train that assistant to respond to queries. If you're, for example, if I talk about gardening stores, because I love that example because it's a very clear niche. If you're a gardening store online, chances are there's going to be gardeners and people that love gardening going to your website and using the live chat. Would they like to speak to someone that actually knows all the terms about gardening? They know what sort of tools, they can ask questions. Hey, I have this problem. I want to prune my lemon tree. I've used that example before. I want to prune my lemon tree. And then you actually answer, help them choose the right secateurs or the right pruning tools or what have you over chat. Can your customer service rep do that, or are they just say, sorry that we messed up your order, here's a refund? How deep do you want to go? Because this is all part of your brand. And I've talked about this on other videos too. When someone talks through your live chat or calls up, and if you have a call center or if you're answering the phone yourself, they are interacting with your brand. So if it's your brand, imagine what if you were to speak to your brand one-on-one, just sit down at the end of it, for breakfast or over a coffee or over a drink. What would it be like to speak to your brand? Would they be funny? Would they be friendly? Would they be super helpful? Would they be very serious? Would they be very quick and responsive? Or would they wait a little bit? How would you like them to interact with you? Because when these people go to your website, they have questions. They're often at that stage in the buyer's journey where they're just still making that decision. Is this the right product for me? Am I in the right place? And if you can provide the best experience, I've worked with a couple of stores that have just changed over from an offshore customer service rep that didn't understand the brand very well to someone that was onshore, that understood the culture, which is really important, understood the culture, and they saw the repeat customer rate go up significantly because people had a great experience on support and they would come back and purchase again. So that's really important, guys. The next big system, I'll leave that for now. The next big system here is longevity. And what I mean here is, what are you actually doing to get those repeat customers? All these other steps here before longevity were all about helping the first time users, more or less. The first time customers, people that come through cold traffic or they hear about you and they come to your website, they purchase, how do they talk with you, all that sort of stuff. The successful stores I'm working with, they have a clear plan for getting repeat customers. This means really, really good email flows. If you don't have your email flow set up properly, I'm going to create some videos to show you how to do this. It's a really important thing that every e-commerce store needs. Email flows are basically the automatic emails that get sent to people depending on how they interact with your brand. If someone just goes to your website, you have a pop-up that gives them a coupon code to sign up to your email list. What emails do you send them? Are you sending them content about the niche and how to help them, and giving them ideas for gifts or ideas to help them better in that niche? When they purchase from you, what sort of set of emails do they get sent after that? What do they get after they actually purchase? Do you get them really excited by sending them some emails, getting them excited to receive their product? And after they receive the product, in the months, even the years that follow, what emails are you sending to them to get them to come back and purchase again? Do you segment them based on what product they purchased, and then give them extra products that help them use that original product better, that actually enhance their whole experience in that niche with these sort of products? What are you sending them to get them back to come back and purchase again? And you can do emails. You can also do remarketing. You can set up some sort of affiliate program as well, which doesn't necessarily get that one person to come back, but it gets them to recommend other people, and they get a bonus for doing that. And this is longevity is huge. Another thing I've seen work really well is getting all those people into a Facebook group, getting past customers into a Facebook group or a forum or some way to have them all together. And I saw one of my clients, they did this, and they just set up an automated link that gets sent to people when they purchase that says, hey, if you want to join this Facebook group and meet up with other people that love this same product, this same niche. And they just left it there, and they checked it a couple of months later, and it had 600 people in that group. And they checked the group, and they hadn't been doing any admin or monitoring it. These people were all sharing photos, sharing of the product and talking about it and showing how they were using it. It was a huge benefit for market research into how people use their products. But these people then were brought into this ecosystem about the brand, and they would come back and purchase again and again because they felt this unity, they felt tied to the brand, and that was amazing for longevity. So think about it for your store. What could you do there? If you're selling skateboards, then could you get them into a skate group where they all share videos of their tricks that they're learning and they're doing using the skateboards? Man, there's so much you can do. You just have to think about how you can do it for your customers and your niche. And the last system here is operations and systems. All these parts here, largely when you set them up, they can be automated. Operations and systems is like going through and just tweaking things, making things automated, moving the information from each system. So like, for example, for support and contact, you can use a plugin like Gorgeous that allows your customer service rep, when someone starts a chat and they put in their email, it's going to pull up their actual order, so you can clearly see in terms of fulfillment, has it arrived yet? Where's the tracking up to? So when they start messaging you, you can immediately pull in the tracking information, also know what product they purchased, see their order history, and this is like the glue that goes in between these different systems. This also involves hiring. So you can do everything yourself, answer all customer service, fulfill the products yourself, manage your campaigns yourself. But a huge part of these successful stores is that once you get to millions of dollars in revenue per year and you do it profitably, you've got profits to start hiring people, and you can't spend your time doing all this stuff. It's better for you to step back and focus on the top level strategy and the executive decisions. You can also just enjoy your freedom and take a break for a while if you'd like to, but that's a big part of it, is hiring the right people, hiring assistants, hiring like a marketing manager or someone to manage all your traffic and your website, hiring people to do fulfillment if you've got your own warehouse, all these things here to tweak the system. And one other thing here is that I haven't talked about here is the finances. So once you get that proof of concept that you've got a store that's generating income, you can then go through, look at all the expenses, or where the revenue is coming from, and tweak to maximize your profit. Because the more profit you have, the more you can pay to acquire new customers, the more you can invest in new products and research and development, and that's where your store just makes leaps and bounds, and you've built this asset that just keeps growing and growing and growing. Anyway, guys, that's the 8 systems that I see time and time again with these successful stores, for stores that we've built up, and even stores where we take on and help them scale to the next level. We'll look into their whole store, look at their whole brand, and we just check, ding, 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 all these things are taken care of, and they're just kicking goals in every single one of these. And think about your store. Which of these systems have you not even thought about? Have you not even touched yet? And are you not maximizing to its full potential? Because if you're going to compete, especially as more people enter into the e-commerce realm, more people are more and more successful and learning more, you really need to keep up with this and make sure that your store is the best it possibly can be. Like I said before, it just takes one good entrepreneur to come into your niche, apply what I've just taught you in this video, and just dominate and wipe out all those customers that were going to your store they can just take them all to their store, and because they're doing the longevity, they're maximizing the longevity of their customers. They're not going to cut; those customers aren't going to then go to your store ever again. They're going to stay with this brand, so that you see that this brand just gets bigger and bigger because they get all the new customers, and they also get all the existing customers to keep coming back in their ecosystem. And this is why these stores are successful, because it just scales like crazy. They spend the same amount on ads, but their revenue increases every single month. It's insane. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If this was helpful, please let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate it. I've been thinking about this video for a long time and how I can help you guys the best I can. Also, give a thumbs up if it was helpful. I do recommend checking out all the other videos I've talked about in this video, as well as on my channel, because a lot of the videos that I've made are through the lens of how can I help you guys maximize each of these different systems. And some systems I focused on much more, like traffic, because that's where everyone's attention is. But I'm trying to make these videos to help you with longevity, contact, systems, operations, even fulfillment as well. I do a couple of videos on need and customers too, which is really important. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.